Hi, my name is Demetrius Tillery, and today we'll be talking about the Smart Table 442i training for classrooms, specifically middle school classrooms. During this training, we will first learn about what is the 442i table and the physical properties of it. I will then show you the different modes of the table and the uses of those modes. Next, we will talk about how to retrieve applications and subsequently your lessons. Finally, I will then illustrate a couple of lessons dedicated to the middle school curriculum. The Smart Table is a multi-touch LCD screen that allows for students to work cooperatively and collaboratively on assignments. More than one student can touch it at a time, so it makes for it to be very interactive. First, we will talk about the physical properties of the table. The table is very spacious, having a 46-inch length and a 29-inch width makes for a lot of workspace for students. Although the table face is pretty spacious, the active screen area is only 37 inches by 21 inches, with a 42-inch diagonal that displays a 1080p Full HD LED LCD screen. The table, when fully assembled, is not much taller than 2 feet, which makes it easy to store under most counters and easy to reach for all school-aged kids. Located on the left width side of the table is the power panel. Located on the left side of the power panel is the power button. I want to note that this power button is only used for turning the smart table on and is not used for turning it off. To turn the table off, you must hit the power button on the touchscreen located in the corner as shown here. Located on the right side of the power panel is a port for you to input your document camera. The document camera could be used to display images and documents onto the smart table. Located on either lengths of the sides of the smartboard tables are two student panels. The student panels are used for a multitude of things. You have two headphone jacks on either side of the student panel that can be adjusted with volume. There are also two USB ports located in the middle of the student panel. These could be used for things like thumb drives or interactive add-ons. These student panels allow up to 4 students to work on the smart table at once. Next, we'll be talking about the 3 different modes of the smart table. There are 3 of them: the student mode, the teacher mode, and the desktop mode. The student mode is shown here. It is the default mode whenever the device is turned on. Here, students can interact amongst different applications. This mode promotes collaboration, cooperation, and critical thinking. There are several applications for each lesson you download on the table. The amount and type of applications depend on the specific lesson. I will now go through all of the types of applications that are possible with a lesson. Paint is an application that allows students to virtually finger paint up to 4 different colors at once. In the media application, students are able to interact with photos and videos to discuss and learn from them. There is a collage of these media where students can drag, zoom, and listen for discussion. Teachers can also add their own media on this application. In the multiple choice application, students work collaboratively to answer multiple choice questions and fill in the blank questions. All students must drag the correct answer to the middle of the table where the question is located. If they do not all select the correct answer, the answer choices will bounce back to their original position. Once all students select the correct answer, the table will light up with trophies. This will be shown later in the tutorial. In the application hotspots, a diagram of some sorts is displayed. Students must then fill in the blank by dragging labels to the correct spot on the diagram. Once the diagram is labeled correctly, the next one commences. The addition application uses student collaboration to solve simple addition problems. They are usually moving objects like coins or blocks around to achieve this. In the application hot spaces, students move words into the right category for that subject. For example, vocabulary words associated with the water cycle will be sorted into different stages of the water cycle. In the application puzzle, students solve tanagram puzzles by dragging the correct pieces to the correct location. In the application narrow it down, students work together to form and ask questions about a secret card in order to identify it. They want to discard all of the cards except for the secret one in order to reveal what it is. Lastly, in the application Smart Notebook, students complete lessons that the teacher has created within the application. Next is the teacher mode. This mode is used to choose activity packs and lessons, adjust the number of learners, adjust the volume, adjust the settings, or calibrate the table. To access the teacher mode, you must be able to execute some intricate moves. First, you must place all 5 fingers in the middle of the table, as shown here. Make sure you are pressing so that the table picks up all 5 of your fingers. After a few seconds, a setting wheel pops up in the bottom right corner, as shown here. While still holding the middle of the table, tap the settings wheel and you will be able to enter the teacher mode. Next, we will talk about desktop mode. It is shown here. To access desktop mode, you must first be in teacher mode. Located in the bottom left corner of teacher mode is an X. Tap that X to enter desktop mode. From here, you can connect to internet wirelessly or do anything else you can do on a Windows operating system. Next, we will talk about how to get lessons for your students. First, you must be in teacher mode. From here, you must tap on the Activity Packs widget located in the middle of the screen. This opens up a box with 3 tabs. The first tab, Table Content, shows you what apps you already have installed on the table. The second tab, USB Drive, shows you anything you have connected to the USB port. The third tab, labeled Smart Exchange, is a search engine of a plethora of apps. Note, you must be connected to the internet to use this feature. Once you are in the Smart Exchange tab, you can manually sort through each page, or you can filter the apps based on grade, subject, country, or app type. You can also manually search for specific items by using the search bar. Once you find the app you want to download, tap Download. Finally, I will walk through 2 lessons with you guys. The first is the water cycle lesson, which is tailored toward middle school grades. As you can see, the water cycle lesson has 6 applications to it. First is media, then image reveal, next is hotspots, then hot spaces. After that is paint, and finally multiple choice. There is not a specific order that these applications must be completed in. There isn't even a requirement to do all the part of the lessons. It is left up to the discretion of the teacher. The multiple choice application is one of the most collaborative applications on the device. For this lesson, students are asked several questions about the water cycle. The first question asks, what gives energy to the water cycle? The answer choices are shown in picture and word form. The word sun shows a picture of the sun, and so forth. This stimulates reading and matching words to illustrations. There are 6 answer choices, 3 for each student. This application allows for 4 to 8 students to interact at once. The students must collaborate and choose which answer is the correct one and drag it in the middle. Once they both have chosen the correct answer, the table lights up and makes sound in a celebratory fashion as shown. The multiple choice application also has fill in the blank questions. This one is as follows. The opposite of condensation is blank. Again, each student has 3 choices apiece, and they both must choose the correct answer before they are allowed to move on. If they do not, the answer choices bounce back to their original position. Since both students chose the correct answer of evaporation, they received the celebratory praise from the SMART table. Image reveal is much like multiple choice, but with a secret image at the end. Students must continue to work collaboratively to answer questions correctly. These questions usually are multiple choice questions. If students do not answer the question correctly, then a pop-up tells them to try again. If the students do answer the question correctly, then a part of the image will be revealed. This process continues until the whole image is revealed. Then there will be one final question about the image. For this particular lesson, there is not an image to be revealed. The media application is perfect for general lecturing, note-taking activities, or general discussion as the SMART table suggests. There are several videos on the water cycle that gives educational information about the cycle. Students can move the videos and images around while also zooming in to get a better view. The Hot Spaces application has 4 categories. Sometimes it has more than 4, sometimes it has less than 4. For this particular lesson, it has condensation, precipitation, evaporation, and runoff, which are all related to the water cycle. Students must look at the variable vocabulary terms and place them in the right category. All the terms associated with precipitation should be dragged to the precipitation category, and so forth. Once all the terms are in the right category, the table will light up in a celebratory fashion. If some terms are in the wrong category, then those terms will be lit up a different color and will be shown that it's incorrect. The Hotspots application has a diagram of the water cycle. For this particular diagram, the physical aspects of the water cycle is the tested material. Students must know in which step of the cycle has water in what phase and label the correct spot. Once students have dragged and labeled the diagram correctly, they move on to the next one. The paint application could be used as an open quiz. For this paint exercise, students are given another blank diagram of the water cycle and must label it. They are given no word bank or any help besides the diagram. This allows for the teacher to really test the students' knowledge. Next, I will walk through the SMART Table's photosynthesis lesson. This lesson is also tailored towards middle grade students. This lesson also has several applications associated with it. For this lesson, the amount of learners was adjusted to 4. The multiple choice questions consisted of pictures of different living things and asking the students if these living things needed light. The first one was a bat. Students must collaborate and realize that bats do not need light to eat and reproduce. Therefore, they do not need light to survive. All 4 students must then drag the word no to the bat to move on to the next question. Next, students were shown a picture of a plant and asked the same question. Students must realize that plants need light to reproduce and to make food, therefore they need light to survive. When they all have realized this, students must then drag yes to the plant to move on. This goes on for several different objects throughout this lesson. The Hot Spaces application during this lesson consists of filling the blank questions between the words water and sunlight. This lesson is meant to teach kids that although plants do need sunlight and water to survive, having too much of it will hurt the plant in the long run. Here is the finished product of the lesson. Once students finish this part of the lesson, another fill in the blank commences for Hot Spaces. The paint application for this lesson asks students to draw and create a healthy plant. This allows the teacher to see that students have learned that a healthy plant has bountiful leaves and has grown tall and luscious. The Hotspots application for this lesson contains 2 categories: things that are alive and things that are not alive. The student objective is to separate the random objects into these categories. Students must recognize that the plants in this lesson are the only things that are alive because they grow and reproduce using light and water. Students must then decide what plants need and what plants do not need to survive. This is another mini lesson under the Hotspots application, which commences after the first one is completed. After students see that plants need sunlight and water to survive and none of the other things, they can move on to the next part of the lesson. Although I use these versions of the lesson, the Smart Table comes with several other versions of the same lesson. These other versions are tailored to other ages of students and also the type of content to be covered. Some of the lessons focuses more on collaboration and some of the lessons focuses more on vocabulary terms and so forth. You can filter these types of lessons you want by using the filter and search options located in activity packs during teacher mode. Although some of the activities covered in this video may have seemed trivial, I had two sixth grade boys at the establishment I'm employed work through some of these lessons, and it wasn't that trivial to them. At times, there were wrong answers chosen and confusions with some of the lessons that seemed very trivial to me. After the lessons, however, these boys showed improvement and also satisfaction with what they had learned using the SMART table. This shows that there are really advantages to the SMART table for all ages. It also shows the positive reinforcement that the table uses actually does make the student feel better about themselves and makes the lessons worthwhile. I think that any teacher between the grades of kindergarten and 6th should use this spill-proof, scratch-proof, up to 40 touch screen during some instruction time during the year. Another reason why I feel like teachers should use this technology is because it allows for a lot of flexibility between lessons. This table, paired with additional software, allows for the creation of your own activity packs. For this to happen, you must download the software toolkit on your laptop or desktop computer. From there, you can customize your own lessons, add animations, illustrations, and so forth. This makes the Smart Table very versatile and makes it possible that it can be used for any age and any type of educational setting, not just strictly classroom settings. Let's recap what we learned about the Smart Table 442i throughout this tutorial. First, the Smart Table is a 42-inch LCD LED touchscreen that allows for collaboration and engagement of students on an educational level. This table is 25 inches tall, spill-proof, and scratch-proof, which makes it very durable for all age groups, big and small. The intricacy of this table allows the table to still function with up to 40 different touches at a time. That's 4 people using all 10 of their fingers at the same time. This table also has several amenities that allow for the use of USB devices, headphones, and document cameras. Next, the student mode. The student mode is the default mode and is the one that will be used the most on this device. The student mode has several different applications depending on the lesson. These applications include things like, but not limited to, hotspots, hot spaces, image reveal, multiple choice, and paint. The student mode allows up to 8 students to use this table at once, but 4 is usually the max teachers try to go for. Student mode contains several different activities depending on the lesson. Next, teacher mode. Teacher mode is the area where all of the activities and lesson packs are downloaded through the Smart Exchange app that has over 1,500 activity packs. Teacher mode is also the area where you can adjust the number of learnings and settings like volume and language. You can also calibrate your table here. To access teacher mode, you must Press down in the middle of the table with all 5 fingers, and while still pressing down, press the setting wheel that pops up in the lower right hand corner. Finally, desktop mode. Desktop mode is the technician part of the table and operates under a Windows operating system. Desktop mode is where you can wirelessly connect to the internet and do anything else that you can on a Windows operating system. To access desktop mode, press the X in the lower left-hand corner of teacher mode. The Smart Exchange part of the table is probably the most important piece for an educator and can be accessed through Activity Pack widget of teacher mode. You need internet access to take advantage of the 1,500 plus applications that Smart Exchange has to offer. You can also search and filter through these hundreds of applications by grade or subject. Downloading and opening activity packs through Smart Exchange is as simple as pressing your finger down. To wrap up, the Smart Table 442i is an interactive learning tool that is capable of entertaining students of all ages while teaching them at the same time. While being pretty simple to use, it can easily be incorporated into school curriculum by the least tech-savvy of teachers. As society grows, so does our dependability of technology and the need to incorporate it into our pedagogy as our students grow and learn with it. This emerging technology is a good place to start. Thank you.